Okay, welcome to our sneak peek, the official sneak peek of the 2024 two-day investment seminar. Boy, I tell you, it's always fun for me when we start gearing up for this event. It means the holidays are right around the corner, time to spend a lot of precious moments with our loved ones, but also that our flagship event is going to kick off on January 5th and 6th, 2024 in Tampa, Florida. So I encourage everyone that if you want to make the most of 2024, this is the event that you need to figure out a way to get to. And the good news is you can do it either live or in person, or you can attend via live stream, and it is going to be recorded. And we'll talk about some of those nuances towards the very end. Okay, but there is going to be a way for you to get the information you need to make the best of 2024. Your team is listed on the slide here. We'll start left to right, back to front. Jerry D'Ambrosio will be doing a lot of the swing trading presentations in particular. He's the tall gentleman on the left. In the middle and the back is Jim Penna. He's our manager of retirement services. He's got a bang-up presentation on how to build, manage, and so forth a retirement-minded portfolio and truly make it worry-free with use of options. It's really great presentation. On the back row on the right is Ron Wheeler. He's going to do some really cool stuff with options at the show. He's going to be showing you how to leverage your positions. If you've got some good techniques to buy stocks, he's going to show you some great ways to leverage them up and also do some live trading at this event to produce income. In the front there, our fearless leader, Ray Clark, will be at this event, help us kick it off and close her down. Glenn Tompkins, I'm sure a stranger to no one at this point, certainly the face of YouTube these days. He'll be doing a couple of dynamic presentations along with myself. So who is this guy? Well, I'm Steve Chappell, Director of Trading Systems Development here. I've been with the company now, my goodness, 23 years. And boy, I tell you, I think I've been to 20, this will be 20 of these events. The only ones I've missed have been due to illness or COVID shutdown. So planning on being there again this year, and I can't wait to see all of the friendly faces that I'm so accustomed to seeing at this event, and hopefully a bunch of new ones there as well. So again, there's your team. And why we want to get there is to avoid the big mistake, the most common critical mistake that a lot of investors or traders make, and that's getting inundated with data, indicators, and just, if you're not careful, you just bury yourself. And so what we want to do, the way to fix all that, is to have a very simple plan, really a 3-step plan. There can be some nuances to each of the 3 steps that we're certainly going to cover, but just high level, we need to have a market timing system that we feel good about. We need to have a good way, proven way to pick stocks that are right for us. And then we need some simple tactics to manage them to make money. And so we're going to be showing various trading plans at this workshop, and we'll try to highlight some of that as we go through. But the first part is knowing when to buy. Know when it's the right time to buy stocks. It's the most difficult challenge, I think, for a lot of investors, certainly ones who don't have access to a platform like VectorVest, where we give this kind of insight and they just buy stocks on the whim. Well, we've learned over the years that timing is everything. It's the single most important ingredient to your success. The kinds of stocks you pick are the most important ingredient to how successful or how preservation-minded you are. But the most important ingredient to all of it, again, is the timing. And so if I come up here and we go to the market timing graph as a quick example, here I've just got about a 6-month graph of the VectorVest composite, which represents all 9,000 stocks that we track. And what we can see here are these green triangles. They represent opportunities to buy stocks. This is the GLB RT Kicker. This will be highly featured at this year's event. Okay. The red triangle is a time to start getting protective until we see the green triangles again. Then we can start buying stocks. That way, if we see significant market declines, we stay out of harm's way. And then we have the ability to load up the truck again as the market starts to heat back up. And so if we do this, It's going to make a huge difference in our performance. All right. So aside from timing is everything, you still then need to have another function, which is what am I trying to achieve? What's my objective? Am I aggressive? Am I conservative? What kinds of stocks are going to work best for me? And so at this 2-day event, we definitely take a considerable amount of time making sure that you understand that. And it all stems from our founder, Dr. Bart DeLito. He wrote a great little book, a little green book we call it, Stock Strategies and Common Sense. And on page 59, he said, good portfolio management starts with buying the right stocks. And so, again, people who aren't familiar with VectorVest, they might be getting a lot of their stock picking ideas from newsletters or CNBC or whatever the case might be. What we like to do is take the 9,000 stocks that we track and categorize them into whether it's actually a very prudent decision or a speculation. It's not to say that you can't make money with speculative stocks. In fact, we've got some strategies that knock the cover off the ball, and we will detail some of those at this show. But let me walk you around here really quick. I'm not going to go in depth because that's what the show is all about. But in the speculative quadrant, we're always balancing two indicators at VectorVest, relative value and relative safety. Relative value is your upside potential. Relative safety is your consistency and predictability of financial performance, okay? And so when you're speculating, when you're getting the water cooler stock pick, a lot of times it's going to put you into this category. There are some stocks that can perform well, like in a firm, who doesn't really have, they don't have any track record of making money, and they're still a long ways away from it, but they catch a good piece of news and they're working with some good partners like Amazon, and stock price shoots up. So we've got some strategies that can find those kinds of things. Aggressive, now we're starting to move the needle a little bit more noticeably. Hopefully you can at least see that there's an upward trend involved here. There's still a lot of volatility, but the upward trend is largely driven by relative value. And relative value we said is upside potential, and it's really looking at earnings and earnings growth as the main driver there. There's some other factors, but that's the main driving force. And so it's going to give you an overall better chance for success, because if they have good, strong earnings growth rates and they're making a little bit of money, typically stock prices are going to perform more favorably more often, right? Now, where most people end up falling, even though you kind of think you might be aggressive, you notice the prudent chart. So prudent is kind of the best of all worlds here. It's going to give you good stocks that tend to walk up the page a lot more often than they don't, and with very little volatility compared to other stocks, certainly like a speculative or an aggressive stock. And when we get to, those are high RV and RS combinations, okay, best of both worlds. So good upside potential and very strong safety ratings. In the conservative category, the emphasis is on kinds of things you need to do to manipulate the stock viewer or your watch list or a search that you're running, and what kinds of stocks are being favored to get the job done right for you, okay? So we'll spend a lot of time at the show going through this, but then also parlaying this into actual trading models so that you'll have a good idea of what some of the better searches are for your specific objective. The other thing I would say here very quickly is I wouldn't want to pigeonhole anybody into one particular category per se. If you read that chapter in Stock Strategies and Common Sense very carefully, Dr. DeLito is going to liken building a good portfolio into a baseball team. In that portfolio, you're going to want some guys that can hit for average, and they're very consistent, but you also need a guy in there that can steal a base or hit a home run from time to time, And so I generally carry a lot of prudent stocks, and I nibble at some of these other categories as well. Yeah, it's really great information, guys, that you're going to learn there. The other thing is you're going to learn actual systems, and we've got some new systems, one in particular, on ETFs. And it is something. It's really, really strong. It has very little drawdown, and this is great for people, particularly if you want to take more of a hands-off type of approach and you want to knock the cover off the ball in terms of beating the pants off fixed income, things of that nature, this is going to be a much better way to go. Also at the show, we're going to give you some very simple tactics. A lot of the trading plans already incorporate them into the plans themselves. But, just some general simple guidelines for you folks that might be just getting acclimated to VectorVest. I know when I got my friends involved in the stock market, they're, what should I take? What stock should I buy and put all my money in? So my first bit of guidance has always been, well, that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is dollar weight. And what we want to do is dollar weight according to positions of 10 to 20 stocks so that we're spreading our risk out evenly in those positions. That way, NVIDIA has been a great stock, right? But over the last couple of weeks, even as the market has still remained somewhat hot here, NVIDIA has been pulling back, which is not a problem per se, unless 80 or 90 or 100% of your money is all there and you feel like you're missing something. So you are missing something because if you've spread it out, you got a little bit of gold, you got some other things going. A lot of those types of positions have been doing pretty well. And then we want to diversify, just as I was alluding to there. You don't want to just attack FANG, although, that's kind of where all the heavy action has been. You still want to have oars and, paddles in the water in other places, because there's nothing to say that that's going to continue to be the case. It's likely, right? But there's always going to be some other parts of the stock market that are going to outperform from time to time. So it's good to spread out across industries. The other thing I would say here is we're going to make sure that when you leave the show that you have a good idea of our market timing analysis and that you're going to pick a plan that's comfortable for you by way of timing. Timing is critical. And, just starting with the good old confirmed calls is not a bad place to start for most people. But we're going to do a lot of educating on the green light buyer and some other timing models that we have. And then never risk more than 1% to 2% in any position. You're going to do that largely with stop losses and capital allocation, right? So the idea here again is you don't want one trade to submarine your performance for the year. And if you're not careful, it really can do that. So there's education around all of these points, and this is a special presentation here that's really dialed in around just giving you a glimpse at what's at this event. We can't teach techniques; we're going to teach them at the show, right? So Tampa Airport Marriott, January 5th and 6th, 2024. We're going to detail a lot of great plans. We've always got new stuff to show. ETFs is going to be resurrected and be a big part of the show, as you've seen, but also a lot of great swing trading techniques and a heavy dose of options this time around as well. So let's talk a little bit about it, how it's broken out, and if it's going to be right for you, right? So the very first morning is all core VectorVest for the most part. We're going to start with our stock analysis, really break down what all of our proprietary indicators are and what they do, and so forth. I'm going to do the art of buying low and selling high, which is a great 30,000 foot view of what we're all trying to accomplish. And then we're going to get into a terrific system that is set to, it's a 3-step approach that's set to triple fixed income. There's a lot of discussion right now about fixed income. And maybe some of you locked in a good high 5% rate or so on some short-term yields. But the reality is, we can show you effective ways where you can triple that kind of performance in any market. And so, I don't care if the yields go to 12, we're going to have the ability to do that. And so that's going to be a wonderful presentation. On January 5th, in the afternoon, so this is still Friday, we get heavier into, we kind of roll up the sleeves here at this point. We get into that subject of finding the right stocks for you, and then how to build and manage a retirement portfolio, and then situational investing. Situational investing is probably the one that has questions. And so this one is spirited around or geared around the idea of what stage is the market in currently? Are we nearing a bottom? Are we at a top? Or are we somewhere in the middle? And then what are the tactics that are best, that tend to produce the best results at those stages? So the market moves almost in a sine wave type pattern over time. You hit a trough, you go up to a peak, you come back down to a trough, and then you go back up to a peak, right? And so what we do is put a lot of coaching around, these are your best opportunities at the troughs. Then we want to start weeding out those after a few weeks and start going high momentum. Then we want to start thinking about even safer stocks as the market has come a good way off the bottom and there's more risk as you're sort of climbing the wall of worry. You've probably heard that expression a time or two. So it's an eye-opening presentation, and we think you'll get a lot out of that one. Cocktail reception, followed by a special presentation. And boy, we've always got some really cool, eye-opening, something special in that special presentation. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. I can't unwrap the gift this early. You got to go to the event. January 6th, Saturday morning, a guide to the swing trader's mindset by Jerry, surfing the reversal waves, which is a great little tactic for traders. And then the near perfect indicator. Stan Heller was not on the, he kind of jumped on board late with us. I'm so glad that he did. He's awesome. Love that man dearly. But he's going to be doing the near perfect indicator from Canada. And that's wonderful because largely he's orchestrated the whole thing. And boy, he does a bang up job on giving you some more meat on the bone than you might even expect. Okay, really great. And then Ron's going to kind of wrap it up with leveraging swing trades with options, then the actual live trading session after lunch, and then Ray will kind of tie a bow on the whole event and give you a plan for success for when you leave that you can even start thinking about implementing the next week. Okay. So it's wonderful, but it's, you guessed it, it's decision time. This is a no-brainer, so we probably shouldn't make a big deal about decision. There really isn't a decision. Doing it alone is not an option. It can be done. It just takes incredibly long to do, so let's do it fast. Old Abe Lincoln said if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. And what that means to me, as it relates to this presentation, what that means to me as it relates to this presentation is you could just spend 2 days to set you up for the rest of the trading year and years to come. And so that's a much better trade. That's a much better trade-off, 2 days for the rest of your life versus 4 hours for 2 hours of work. All right, so here it is. I said the price last year would never be lower than $195. It's $95 this time around, or free for the live stream. Now, that's always been the case. That price is going to go back up to $195 on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you're somebody that's interested in going, the lowest price, you'll save yourself $100 if you do it before Tuesday of next week. There are the websites to go to at the bottom. The top one there that says right here, that says VectorVest.com/Tampa. That is for the in-person. And then the stream, of course, is for the live stream. This is going to be recorded, as I mentioned earlier. Anybody that goes live and in person is going to get access to the recordings for a year. Anybody that just attends the stream but does an annual renewal or a new annual subscription to the software we're going to make sure you have the training. So you're going to get the same set of recordings for a year. What a deal. Okay. And of course they will be available for sale for other folks as well. But that's the benefits of coming to the event. I'll give you just from experience some other benefits. Okay. I'm going to make a big push on the live and in person, and I'm going to do it for a particular set of a few reasons. One, and I think most important, is this event is going to fire you up, not only from us, the instructors, giving you what you need in terms of the information, but also our VectorVest Elite subscribers are going to be there. I mean, people that have been with VectorVest as long as I have, some of them even longer. And it is really nice to rub elbows with them because, they're very successful with VectorVest. And so just being around these folks, you're going to get some wonderful ideas on things that could change your life quite frankly, whether it's from us, the instructors, or the people at the show even. We really take care of you. You're going to get first class. I mean, this $95 doesn't even cover food and beverage. I can promise you that. You know, run the education budget here. So we're trying to get you there so we can get you the information you need. What a great company, you know, honestly. And boy, I tell you, I wish I could send you some food out by, I don't know, Uber Eats or something at your home, but we obviously can't do that, right? All right, so there's we're in kind of just a hop, skip, and a jump away from an entertainment district down there in Tampa. Tampa's where I grew up. So I've got a lot of great ideas for you on places that you can go and maximize your off-seminar time. One of the best steakhouses in the entire world is in Tampa, for example. It's called Burns Steakhouse. And their dessert room will blow your mind. So you can just book for that. In fact, I think that's what you have to do. But you can get dessert, obviously, if you have the dinner. Anyway, all of this and more, okay? The camaraderie with one another and everything, it's worth your while. And so we want to see you there. Hopefully we'll see you in Tampa. Don't wait. You've just got a few days until prices start going up. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. So I don't see any questions from GoToWebinar. And boy, I tell you, so I think this is a complete wrap. Listen, get to this website, get it done. We'll see you there. All right. I hope to see you live and in person. There you go. There's one. A couple. Can I give a preview? Well, you just got a preview. We're not going to show you all the goods until you get there. If you register for live but can't make it, you can still stream it, right? Yes, I believe we can figure that out for sure. Yeah, we'll see you there, John. Preview of the strategy that beats fixed income. Well, you saw the equity curve on it. So I'll whet your appetite with that. I'm not going to tell you what the system is until you get there. Boop. Right there in the background, you can see it lightly traced. That's what it's looked like over the last few years. Even the COVID collapse didn't really cause too much consternation with this method. Very smooth, very steady, very profitable. Okay. So get there and learn about it. You can even do it for free. What a deal. I'm not going to show you today. You still can do it for free if you just do it online. All right. Let's see here, guys. So looks like everything's dried up. All right. We will see you guys hopefully at the show. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to be there again. It's my old stomping grounds. We'll see you guys down there. Good luck with the rest of your day.